Good afternoon, and welcome to Wallace Field here in Victoria, British Columbia, Canada, for today's matchup between the University of Victoria Vikes and Capilano Rugby Club. Should be a good matchup today, with Alex Gordon making his Vikes debut today. Number 5, first ever cap for the Vikes team here on a cloudy and somewhat chilly Saturday afternoon. The day started out quite warm, but has, wouldn't say deteriorated, but has cooled off quite substantially as we get going in this matchup. And an immediate, well, not knock on, but immediately poor take from Capilano there off the kick from the Vikes. But no matter. They maintained possession, but pushed back immediately by the Vikes there as Capilano will kick off the boot, and ball tried to go quick there, did Ethan Smith, the number 9, but Uvik will opt for the lineout as into the hands of Merlin McLeod goes that ball, and offloaded with some uncertainty, but Uvik maintains possession as we have a man down for Capilano, but he is back up as the ball's played through the hands of Smith and into the hands of, I believe that was Phoenix Mahler, but Smith again into the hands of Andrew Eason, who grubbers it along the ground, and attacked there by Shane Rickley Crindle, but Capilano will get possession back of this ball, and they will kick it once again. This one, however, not making touch, and a poor pass there, but Reese Patterson takes it well and goes for a little bit of a run, but hit hard as the ball comes back through to Smith to McLeod, and McLeod barrels forward with Tucker Nadeau, or I should say Jackson Jones, making that carry. Ball kicked by Smith, blocked by Capilano, but then recovered immediately by Smith as Phoenix Mahler with the carry there into the hands of number 12, Andrew Eason. And great offload there. There's space on the left wing there for the Vikes, but the tackle made well by Capilano. And ball almost stolen, but penalty will go to the Vikes. So early in last week's game against UBC, the Vikes opted for points early here in situations like this, points being going for the goalposts. But it looks like early today their strategy is to go for the full 7. So they will kick to touch, and it will be the lineout thrown by Jack Marshall, but it's going to go not straight, I believe, and the lineout will come to Capilano. I was told earlier by head coach Scott Manning that, in fact, the debutant, Alex Gordon, used to play for Capilano, so an interesting matchup for his first cap with the Vikes to be against. As a big push there by the Vikes, and they win the scrum penalty. That seemed almost inevitable when you saw that first push by the Vikes. Just massive, and a big scrum to win on the 5-meter line of Capilano. And they're going to go right back for it. knowing maybe that they have an advantage in the scrum, they will go right back to it. And try to put their first set of points up on the board here. As held very well this time by Capilano. And the ball into the hands of Andreessen. A bit of a high pass there, which is never ideal. But Merlin McLeod with the ball now. Moving out to the right as Smith pops it into the hands of Brent Hamburg. And Uvek still moving to the right here, hoping to burst through as Smith with a fake. And does he get it down? Yes. I believe he does get it down. Julianne Zusman, the referee, going to consult with her line judge here as Smith with the fake move back to the inside, and he does score the try. So 5-0. I guess going for points there ended up being the right move as the Vikes will lead 5-0. And about 5 minutes into this game. So the kick here to add the extra 2 points to be attempted by Reese Patterson. And the kick is up, but it looks like it may have just missed over the goalpost on the right-hand side of the uprights. So Uvik leading 5-0 here, 6 minutes into this game. And Capilano will kick the ball off back into the hands of the Vikes. To the left this time, deep into Uvik territory. That's taken very well. And Uvik will look to get the ball out of harm's way here with the boot of Reese Patterson. But that going straight out will result in a line out back to where that ball was kicked. So, number 2, Ethan McCarthy to throw for Capilano. And he does so well. Capilano forms them all with Chris Robinson at the back, the scrum half for Capilano, waiting for that ball to come down. And it will go through the hands of Mike Maloney. And to the right-hand side of the pitch goes, I believe, Josh Wang, number 15, ex-Uvik player. But Uvik will win the penalty. So Uvik winning the penalty as the Capilano player kicked the ball away, I believe. So Uvik able to move back up to that place to have Reese Patterson's boot on the ball. And it's a really good kick. Uvik will have a line out now on the 40-meter line of Capilano with Jack Marshall to throw, but thrown into the hands of the Capilano player, and turned over, but a fantastic play there by, I believe it was Merlin McLeod, who made that tackle there. And Uvic, though, still defending as Capilano throws a little bit of a decoy run there with number 13, Cam Weddle, or Waddell. And they're free down the right-hand wing. Good offload or pass to his right there by Mike Maloney. And Capilano showing some signs of offensive prowess here. 10 minutes into the game, but Josh Wang, number 15, will knock that ball on. Although showing signs of promise here. 10 minutes in, as Capilano with a good set of phases there. So it will be Ethan Smith to put the ball in for the Vikes as the big forward pack looks to have a push much like they did in the first scrum of the game that resulted in the turnover and points to the Vikes as the scrum wheels slightly, but the referee deems that the advantage should go to the Vikes. So into the hands of Smith and kicked by Patterson up to the number 15, Josh Wang, taken very well in a contested battle in the air there. So it will be Capilano ball, and so far they've looked good with the ball. One knock on there by Wang is the only mistake they've made, but other than that, they've looked good. Here, though, Uvic will force them out. The flag going up on the line judge, and Uvic will have a line out here thrown by Marshall. So far, the one line out I can remember went straight into the hands of Capilano, so hoping for a more successful one here. And although it goes over the top, it's recovered there by Uvic. So Smythe off to Rickley Crindle and into the hands of Speedy Graham Norris down the left wing, but turned over there. So Capilano with a good, steady defense there to turn the ball over from Graham Norris, as Norris playing left wing and showing off his speed there to start the game. But Capilano with a great set of run through contact there. The big man from Capilano showing his strength as the ball, right in my direction, will not hit me or the camera, thankfully, but hit the front area of this scaffolding. And we will come back for the knock-on. So it will once again be the forward pack of the Vikes hoping to push this scrum forward into the gold zone of Capilano here. As a bit high on the right-hand side, the blind side, but come down into it well. As Andrew Eason tackled well by Capilano, but a quick offload, quick hands there as Patterson with the ball takes the contact, and Smith out to Merlin McLeod on the left-hand side there, into the hands of Morgan DiNardo, and knocked forward in contact. So Ball lost in contact there will result in a Capilano scrum here. And Capilano will look to have a big push themselves in hopes to maintain possession of this ball deep in their own half. Just about 14 minutes gone here in the game. UVic is leading 5-0 on the one try by Ethan Smith. A nifty little play, dancing and dipping around defenders to put the ball down. The kick missed by Reese Patterson just to the right of the uprights. So UVic leading 5-0 here as the scrum is reset. And Capilano looking to get this ball, which they do, and in fact they draw the penalty. I believe it was wheeling the scrum from the Vikes, so maybe one side pushing a little bit harder than the other. So Capilano will have the opportunity to kick this ball to touch and move the ball out of their own territory, or their gold zone territory anyway. And they do that successfully. So a line out to the Caps, thrown by the hooker Ethan McCarthy, over the line out there, and UVic is going to get this ball back through the hands of Eason to Rickley Crindle, and over to Morgan DiNardo, but knocked on, I believe, there by DiNardo. And the referee will play that knock on. So another scrum after the knock on by DiNardo. So a couple knock-ons by the Vikes to start this game in somewhat attacking positions, but their scrum has been holding well. As Ethan Smith, the UVic scrum half, not even considering challenging the scrum, but collapsing it will be on the Vikes. So Capilano here will have yet another opportunity to kick the ball into touch and move the ball out of their own half. Which they will do successfully off the boot of the Capilano player. So it will be a line out here just inside the Capilano half. Ethan McCarthy to throw. And his throw will be a good one right into the hands of the Capilano player. And moved out well by the 10. And that's Josh Wang with a fantastic run. Subpar offload, but still working out for the Caps as the defense of UVic holding strong, holding him up, but that ball is going to go across the line. So that all set up on that fantastic run by Josh Wang and a good offload, forcing themselves across the line. And this game is tied 5-5, pending a conversion right in front of the Vikes uprights. And that kick is good. So Capilano here will lead this game 7-5 after the wonderful run dicing up the UVic defense by Josh Wang, the ex-UVic player. So Patterson to get us going once again will kick into the hands of Capilano, and that kick taken well as Capilano will move through the contact as they will kick here. And it will be Reese Patterson to take that ball, and he has lots of room to run over to DiNardo. And a big ruck by Capilano will result in the knock-on by the Vikes and an ensuing scrum here for the Caps. So a couple knock-ons here for the Vikes early in the game. Capilano really getting over the ball quickly and rocking over well. So far, not posing an incredible challenge to the Vikes, but pressured at the breakdown. And Smith challenging this scrum, and the Vikes, for the second time today, will draw the scrum penalty after a big push there, and the scrum all but collapsing on Capilano. So a big push there by the Vikes. Again, in a situation like this yesterday, they would, or last weekend I should say, they would have gone for goal against UBC, but looking again like they're going to try to get the full 7 here by going for the corner, and they find touch successfully off the boot of Patterson. So it will be Jack Marshall to throw as UVic with a 6-man lineup into the hands of Merlin McLeod, and the maul is formed as UVic pushes closer and closer to the end zone, and that ball strangely bounces, but the touch judge is going to say it went out. That ball bounced forward in a really confusing way into the hands of the UVic player, but doesn't matter because the ball went out of bounds. So Capilano with the line out here, thrown very well again by Ethan McCarthy, and the Caps will kick this ball straight to touch. As
stop the ball.
Some interesting antics here by the Capilano side. Have a spectator asked to go behind the ropes here, but UVic there with a poor lineout. So a turnover at the lineout and leading to the penalty will mean a Capilano kick to touch here. And Ethan McCarthy will throw for the Caps as they not cleanly but successfully win that lineout and look to move through the phases here, attacking in UVic territory. There's Josh Wang again, shifty player with lots of speed, really so far posing a threat to the Vikes defense as an interesting little fake attacking run there by James Ritsema, from the number 1 from Capilano, as a great pass and fantastic tackle there by Jack Marshall, as Capilano with the kick by Mike Maloney that will be recovered by Smith in the corner of the UVic side of the field into the hands of Rickley Crindle, who gains some great space for the Vikes. And Phoenix Mahler with the carry. A really, really fantastic carry as that tackle goes up around the neck. And Phoenix Mahler, a fantastic carry there, leading to that high tackle. It's the only way they could get him down, as Patterson will kick to touch here for the Vikes. And it's not out. So a poor kick there by Patterson will have that line out null and void and then knocked on by the Vikes. So some errors in contact and in handling plaguing the Vikes so far to start this game, as they will need to clean it up in order to get some more points up. But for now, it's a scrum to Capilano. It will be the scrum half, Chris Robinson, to get us underway again, as UVic will look to push hard, and that ball comes out cleanly, as Capilano will move the ball ahead and into the UVic side of the field. And through the hands through the hands of Mike Maloney into the hands of Josh Wang. And a good tackle there by Jackson Jones. First time we've called his name today, and it was a big tackle there, as that ball pops out into the back of the ruck and knocked on by the Caps. Brent Hamburg with the recovery, and he knocks it on himself. So that will come back to the initial knock on. Where that initial play happened, I should say. So the knock on by the Caps will lead to a UVic scrum here, right pretty well at the halfway line of the field. And that scrum looks like it was a slippage there on the right-hand side. Phoenix Mahler and James Ritsema going down. So the scrum will be reset here with just about 12 minutes to go in this first half. as Smith puts the ball in, and it is played well out to Andrew Eason on the left-hand side, but a big tackle there by the Caps as Henry Down with the ball in hand moves into contact. And Andrew Eason there, acting like a scrum half, will pass the ball out to the Vikes. Smith back to his normal duties, and a kick here by Patterson will run and run and run and run right into the corner of the Capilano side, but recovered by the Caps well. Again, they're leading this game 7-5. UVic unable to find some consistency in their attacking game so far. And they will draw the penalty. So a penalty to the Vikes. And yelling like maybe they wanted to go quickly there. And I think they will. They will go quickly. So out to the left-hand side, seeing a gap, but the ball knocked on by the Vikes. So again, a little bit sloppy in their attack to start this game. And that will result in a Capilano scrum here after the Vikes called to go for it quickly, had some space out on that left wing, but knocked the ball on. When they played UBC last week, it was a game that was seemingly free from errors on the Vikes, a game they needed to play. Attacking percentage as far as efficiency was fantastic last week, which is what eventually propelled them to that victory against UBC. But the start to this game, slightly different with some errors on the Vikes side as they face this very good Capilano rugby team. But that ball is going to be recovered by the Vikes in the scrum, but immediately the penalty is going to go to Capilano. So recovered well, but just no support over the ball. And Capilano wins that ball back. And they will kick to touch, and it's a really good kick. With the line out just inside UVic half. Won well and moved through, but a penalty to the Vikes. So a little bit of sloppy play on both sides as Smith is going to tap and go quickly, seeing a gap out to the right-hand side. That's Rickley Crindle with a fantastic run. The speed in his second gear and third gear are fantastic. The ball slips out, but the penalty is going to go to the Vikes. Capilano complaining, I couldn't see it from here, but Julianne Zusman, a fantastic referee, so I will trust her judgment. And again, interesting what the Vikes are going to do here. They are going to scrum. So the Vikes decide to go for the scrum. They have been winning these very well so far throughout the game. It's been an area of dominance for the Vikes to start this game, and they will choose once again to go for it. Again, 33 minutes into this game, about 7 minutes remaining in the first half. or 6 minutes remaining, I should say. And Capilano is leading this game 7-5 on a try set up by a beautiful run from Josh Wang, and then converted pretty well right under the posts as the ball from Smith to Eason to Rickley Crindle. And that's a fantastic run there by, I'm looking through my camera finder and I cannot see the number, but a fantastic run there, and UVic will score. And I'm hearing over the intercom that it's number 8, Jackson Jones. Again, could not see the number, could not really see anything through this viewfinder. So Jackson Jones with the try. UVic now leads 10-7, pending a conversion here. And I guess hindsight is 20/20, but going for the scrum was a good decision because obviously it resulted in points. So with 5 minutes remaining in this game, the Vikes are leading by a score of 10-7 with Reese Patterson to kick for the extra 2. And that kick is up, but it is no good. Patterson thinking that it was through the uprights, but the touch judges disagreeing with that. So 10-7 will remain the score with 4 minutes remaining here in the first half. And Capilano, Chris Robinson, I believe, will get us going again. And that kick, very deep, taken well by Henry Down. And the Vikes, with possession of the ball here in the hands of Merlin McLeod, will look to kick through the boot of Patterson and recover this ball. It is almost recovered, but an awkward bounce there off of a second UVic player supporting. So Capilano has the ball back, and they look to move down this right wing, which is how they scored their first try through the fullback, Josh Wang. And the penalty will come to the Caps. UVic moving back 10 quickly, but presumably the Caps will go for the touch through the boot of Mike Maloney. And they do. That is a good shot there by Maloney, and the Caps will have an opportunity for some attacking possession here on the 22-meter line of the Vikes with a full line out, a full pack there, trying to deceive the UVic jumpers, which they do, and they win to form the maul, but that maul not going anywhere. In fact, being pushed almost into touch, but they escape, ball off the referee, and the Caps will wait for some folds by their forward pack that was in the lineout. But the penalty will go to the Vikes. So the Vikes going quickly again, really loving that. Seeing a hole in the Caps defense, Easton to Rickley Crindle there, tap and go quickly, and they get man over the ball. They play it out well through Smith and look to add some more points on before the end of this first half. Tucker Nadeau with the carry there. And the Vikes still trying to move this ball out to their left-hand side as Patterson goes to DiNardo and out to that left wing. Uvik will push the ball past the 40-meter line of the Caps, and they will come back out. Fantastic hands there by Brent Hamburg, the young Vikes player, as a fantastic run, an offload, and can they get across the line? Not just yet, but the penalty will come to the Vikes. Smith will tap and go quickly. He will try to get across the line. So far held up. And Uvik loving the tap and go here early in the game. Playing off that penalty. Trying to force and bully themselves across the line here. And they do. Vikes try by, I believe, Merlin McLeod. Just pushing themselves across that line at the end of this half. So up 15-7, pending a conversion here by Patterson. So Patterson here to add 2 more onto the score for the Vikes at the end of this first half. So far, 0 for 2 off the boot. But this one, a much more straightforward kick through the uprights, and Uvik leads 17-7 at the end of this first half. Hello and welcome back here to Wallace Field and Victoria, British Columbia for this second half of action between the University of Victoria Vikes and Capilano. You might notice, and we're really hoping and really happy that we've had this new streaming setup, throughout this season, and there's been some growing pains, but it's been much better than last year, and in part, you might see the sponsor up on the top left-hand side of the screen, as the referee, not even on the field, but the Capilano player cheekily kicking off, but the sponsor, Pemberton Homes, you'll notice we love Mike Holmes and we love Pemberton Homes. They've been a huge supporter of us, UVic Rugby, I should say, throughout their time. Mike Holmes is an ex-player of the program. But we're currently looking for a title sponsor for the stream for 2024 and also for some kit. So if you want to see your logo up on the screen, feel free to reach out to Scott Manning at Vikes MRUG, so VIKES MRUG at uvic.ca. And as well, if you'd like to see your company's logo on a banner, kind of on that white fence you can see on the far side of the stream, feel free to reach out to Scott as well. We are going to be having these live streams at home events for all of our games, Norse and Vikes, pending any technical difficulties, which hopefully there will be no more this year and ever. So, again, if you're looking for a sponsorship opportunity to support UVic Rugby, feel free to reach out to Scott Manning, and we would obviously very much appreciate it. So we're back here for the second half of action, and the first half was highly contested. UVic going up 5-0 to start the game, Capilano coming back and making the game 7-5, but UVic coming back after that with 2 tries of their own to end out the half, now leading 17-5. As we get back underway with a knock-on here from Capilano. Take this time as well to just chat about Thunder Rugby, and as part of Truth and Reconciliation Day a couple weeks ago, the Vikes men's rugby program wore jerseys that were specifically designed by the local Indigenous artist Bradley Dick, and the beautiful, as I think Bradley named them, Sea Wolf jerseys were and are being auctioned off, with all proceeds going to Thunder Rugby, which is a program here on the island that aims to introduce and promote the great game of rugby to Indigenous youth and communities. And there are still, in total, I should say, UVic so far has raised about $2,300 for the program through the sale of these jerseys, auction of these jerseys. And there are a couple left. So if you're interested in purchasing a jersey in support of Thunder Rugby, get in contact with Scott Manning, again, at VIKESMRUG at uvic.ca. So a really good initiative there that I think all of the teams in the Coastal Cup, which is the Pacific Pride, UBC Thunderbirds, and Trinity Western Spartans, wore a different form of an Indigenous styled and created jersey in support of Thunder Rugby. So a really good program that the teams are undertaking in this year. As a little bit of sloppy play to get this second half started will result in a line-out here for Capilano, which is taken very well, and they look to threaten here in UVic territory, almost in the gold zone, as the pass goes off, and the ball stolen there by, I think it was Graham Norris, as a big run, shrugging off that tackle and taking the contact well is Norris, as UVic, in the hands of Rickley Crindle, look to move this ball forward after that Norris steal and run. And the Vikes Off the boot of Patterson, a little grubber kick that doesn't give Wang any trouble, and he'll send it right back to UVic territory with Patterson almost knocking that ball on, but the ball going backwards, I believe. And Smith with the boot right back, which is a fantastic kick. And number 9 will let it bounce. We'll play it back. And we've got a game of tennis going on so far, I think, as that ball is going to bounce and go out to touch. Not straight out, almost straight out, but a fantastic kick there by Capilano. So UVic scrum here, and the throw will come. It's taken very well, and UVic will look to presumably move this ball out of their territory a little bit, but they move through a couple phases first. They get some good push there in the back and advance that ball forward, as now they will kick. Patterson's kick goes into touch, and referees are saying it did go straight out. So Wang throwing that ball quickly, I think they were trying to go, but the coach is in fact making a sub. So number 18, Joe Britt, coming on as a sub for Capilano here after a good shift by Capilano player coming off. So it will be Capilano lineout, and they will take that ball well into the hands of Nick Pierce, the number 4 there, as it was Mackenzie Mills who came off and replaced by number 18 there for Capilano. So Capilano here looking threatening in the hands of the number 10, and they will turn the ball over, though, to UVic, as UVic will move to the right of the pitch and look to get this ball through some phases and out of their territory. But I believe that ball was knocked on by either Merlin McLeod or Alex Gordon. Couldn't tell which one of them was down in the bottom of that pile, as UVic is going to make a plethora of subs here. I see Owen Kokan, Chris Gamage, Lockhart McGregor, and I think I may have missed someone, but I think those gentlemen are coming on. So we have Chris Gamage, Lockhart McGregor, and Brendan Kim on now for some fresh legs here, as I just have realized that I've neglected once again to start my play clock on the screen. But 7 minutes are gone in this second half, and it's a UVic scrum, as the ball free to play there. Chris Gamage taking a little bit too long, and Graham Norris stepping out of bounds there, as it will be a Capilano lineout. So Ethan McCarthy to throw, as a little bit of sloppy play there by the Vikes. But that, speaking of sloppy, that throw, and UVic will get possession back and look to go back to the boot of Reese Patterson, but offside was the Caps. As the Caps will have a line out on the 40-meter line of the Vikes, which goes over the head again of the Capilano player, and Capilano tackled well there by Brennan Kim as they move out to the left-hand side of the pitch. And the ball in possession of Capilano. They move with a big swinging pass way out to the right, but unfortunately, Sam Eifler couldn't handle the pass. It was a big outswinging pass from left to right there that just wasn't able to be handled by number 18, or number 19, I guess, number 19. And so UVic will get possession back here in the form of a scrum as we are 10 minutes into this first half. And the scrum will be reset. As we are. And referee Julian Zusman just not liking the way in which that scrum was set. So we will go again. And it will be Chris Gamage to put the ball in. Got caught up in the foot a little bit, but the big push from the Vikes makes that no problem at all. As Rickley Crindle on the ground. And that ball knocked forward, but actually knocked on by the Caps. So it will be a UVic scrum once again after the knock on there by Capilano. As Ben Cameron comes on as a replacement here for Capilano. Ben replacing number 9, Chris Robinson. As we will do it once again. Chris Gamage to put the ball in. And this time it comes out cleanly. But a big push from the Caps. And that ball is, well, recovered by UVic eventually, but in a not very clean way. Capilano, I think, thinking that they could have had a penalty against UVic, as Reese Patterson with a big kick and Lockhart McGregor with the chase, but no one over the ball. Now there is, as Chris Gamage gets the bouncing ball and held up, the referee will say. It was Graham Norris, I think, was in there as well, rocking over. But that can be the trouble with those kicks, is you have a speedy guy like Reese Patterson, and no one can keep up with him. So you don't have any support over the ball. But a cool idea anyway, as the Vikes still leading this game 17-7 after 12 minutes of play in this second half. And it'll be a goal line dropout from the Caps, who play it into the center of the pitch and into Lockhart McGregor's hands. And he is sure is shifty, isn't he? Wow, what a play. And almost turned over, but overran there by Johnny Franklin, the captain. And Gamage will play it out to Mahler, who will gain that territory back. But struggling to find the ball is Gamage. It's just not popping out. And UVic will get the penalty. Gamage will tap and go quickly, but the referee won't let it happen. Not liking something up there. I see an injured player. So fair to stop that for injury. as Vikes coaches here wanting to go for the corner for a line out here. As we have some more subs coming on. We have Jordy Auger coming on in replacement of Jackson Jones, I believe. And as well, we have number 17, Jesse Ryan, coming on for Capilano after that player was injured. So Uvek will go for the corner here, take the line out, and they'll go quickly into the hands of Henry Down, and they will maul and push forward. All they've got to do is fall on the ball now, but Capilano with a good second push back. The referee trying to find that ball as Jack Marshall is stuffed at the goal line. So Uvek will have to try again. That's, I believe, Jordy Auger on his first carry of the game. Right into the mix, coming off the bench there. A little bit of a low pass from Gamage, but it goes out well to Smith. But Josh Wang, again, having himself a game. He seems to be everywhere this afternoon. Set up the one try Capilano had, and perfectly onside there to tackle Smith when he wasn't really expecting it. As that's big Brendan Kim, but knocking on the ball. So Uvik will turn that ball over, and Capilano will have a scrum here, albeit a scrum that is in a deep in their own territory. And they have, in some cases today, been dominated in the scrum and given up some penalties in deep positions in their own zone. But we will see. Hopefully they can have a big push here and not concede a penalty. Fresh legs in both scrums will mean a rejuvenated pack. So we will see how this scrum goes. It'll be the replacement to put the ball in, and they will play it very well. They kick the ball there, and that's taken really well by Morgan DiNardo. Speedy little winger, and tackled well, though, by the Caps. So Gamage will play the ball out to Brendan Kim, and Uvek will have possession and try to do it all over again. As Uvek coaches yelling and calling to play quicker, so you can see the urgency in Gamage there to get that ball out and play. Uvek coaches may be feeling like the speed of Uvek is more than that of Capilano, but so far the defense holding well. However, that ball turned over, and a cool crossfield kick there. At first I thought maybe he messed that up as it was going backwards almost, but really cool to play it across almost the full length of the pitch there to the number 14 on Capilano. As Uvek calling for the right spacing and a little bit of misspace there, but number 1, James Ritzema, will knock that ball on, and Uvik will recover possession. As rucked over well there, and a break there by 7, Henry Down. Referee not seeing the high tackle, which was pretty obvious to me, but Rickley Crindle trying to play the ball with his boot. Is he going to be able to fall on it before it goes out of bounds? He is. What a play there by Rickley Crindle. The high tackle doesn't matter because the Vikes score anyway. A wonderful kick and run himself by Rickley Crindle there, just falling on the ball. Must have been mere millimeters before the end of the pitch. And the Vikes now lead this game 22-7. So it will be Patterson here to add on the 2 extra points. So far, I want to say he's 1 for 3 today, or 1 for 4 today. This one, much more straight up. As he will pop that narrowly through the right-hand side of the uprights, but through nonetheless. So a big 2 points for Patterson. Put 2 more points on the board for the Vikes, and they now lead 24-7, 3/4 of the way through this game. So just about 20 minutes remaining here, as Morgan DiNardo takes that ball well, and with a big jousting run, cuts through the Capilano defense there. Fantastic meters made by DiNardo, and maybe Uvik is playing with speed. Maybe Capilano's getting a little bit tired, but the meters made after contact in these last 2 plays have been really good. But Uvik is going to knock the ball on there. I believe it was Patterson knocking on. Not often you see an error like that from a player like him. So Uvik Capilano, I should say, will have the line out, the scrum. Look at me confusing my rugby terms. And they will look to formulate an attack here to break through the Uvik defense that has held solid since the 12th minute of the game. So Capilano loading up all their players on this right-hand side, making it very obvious where they're going to go, but they do it nonetheless. And Uvik with a good tackle there, as Capilano with a quick hands there down the left-hand side will move the ball to the wing, but a big ruck over. It doesn't matter because Capilano has the ball in their hands. And again, quick offloads, quick hands here by the team in yellow to maintain possession of this ball. As going deep and back to Josh Wang, and you can see that acceleration. What an absolutely fantastic run by Wang. Goodness gracious, his acceleration is lightning quick. And it was only the last resort of men down there that made that tackle for the Vikes, almost pushing him out of bounds. But if there's one thing that you've learned in this game, it's you don't want to give Wang free space, although he does knock it on there. And he is down, so hoping, he is okay. But what a player Wang is. Absolutely blistering speed from the number 15. As a little bit of cramping, I think, from a Uvik player here. So we will have time off. So it's a Uvik player with what looks like an ankle injury, actually, hoping that he is all right. He's hobbling off, unable to put weight on that ankle. So it's never good, but he did it making that tackle against Wang, who's a shifty player. And time back on, but that scrum will be reset. And they will go for it again here. So a UVic scrum, very close to their own half, or their own end zone. And a big push here from the Caps. Ball is out, and Gamage immediately tackled by the Capilano players. And UVic will have some work to do to get this ball out of the danger zone here. And Capilano, they've stolen the ball. Just needed to go one more, and he had him open there on the left wing, but he'll do that this time. And Capilano really looking threatening here. They're yelling that they're over. The referee says held up. So UVic holding Capilano up here on a play that really developed well for Capilano, stealing the ball in the breakdown and moving it out to that left wing. But UVic's defense holding strong and holding up the Capilano player. So the ball will come from the form of a goal line dropout back to Capilano. It's number 14. Through the hands, shifty run there. And I'm thinking if they want to score a try, they should try to get Wang back involved in this game. He has been stellar. But his speed through the middle just bursting through UVic defenders. As Capilano here looking very promising, moving through the phases, moving it very far out wide. That's number 6, Flynn Hayes, with a big run there. And Capilano just held up, but threatening once again. Looking really good on the attack. So it'll be a big goal line stand here for the Vikes. Needed, as that ball is knocked backwards, says the referee. And UVic driving Capilano backwards. So Capilano losing territory here, but good sustained possession for the team in yellow that they're hoping to convert into some points here as they move it far out wide to number 6 again. And look to move through the hands. Obstructed by his own player there was Sam Eifler. And a big hit there, causing the ball to be knocked backwards. Marcus Lott recovers it for the Vikes. And a kick there by, I believe it was Lockhart McGregor. So some sloppy possession here from both sides after some good sustained possession by Capilano, and a big run, big hit there by the Capilano player on the left-hand side of the pitch, moving it to number 18, Joe Britt. The big man tries to push that across. Capilano really just sustained pressure here, and now they get the penalty. They tap and go quickly and move it out to the right wing. UVic scrambling for defense, but they make the tackle well. And pushing backwards and backwards. Capilano gaining progress and then being pushed backwards by the UVic defense. Moving it out to the wing and then trying to go back into the center and being pushed back. But that's a great grab and go there by Ben Cameron. But the ball is turned over. And a couple players down here. But we will have some subs being made. So time will be off. And a really interesting run of play there over the last 5 minutes. Capilano with sustained possession and looking really good in attack, but just unable to break through the UVic defense as of yet in this second half. But they will have the scrum here, and they will look to burst across the goal line in order to put their first points up on the board since early in that first half. And the ball comes out well. Looks like they're moving to the right, which they are. An interesting play set up there. Almost flirting with the touchline, not getting there as the tackle made by the Vikes. And a goal line stand is needed once again from UVic here, as Capilano threatening. And the referee, what does she think? The referee says held up. The referee says held up again. So 2 tries held up by the Vikes. Potential tries, I should say, held up by the Vikes. And time will most likely be coming off again because we do have a couple more injured players down on the pitch. So as we wait here for the injured players to get up, which they both, or one has now done, also like to just let everyone know about the 16th annual Vikes Championship breakfast that happened a couple weeks ago on Wednesday. All proceeds from this breakfast support financial awards for Vikes student athletes, which is a key ingredient for success if you want to be able to have all people be able to come to school and play sport. And support from this annual event empowers student athletes to excel in their sport, as well as helping Vikes to recruit and retain top performing athletes. And in fact, UVic has just overtaken UBC for the top spot in national men's rugby rankings. And so you can see that this is definitely the case for UVic so far. And this breakfast, the university actually has donated $250,000 to help amplify donations. And so if anyone is interested in making a donation themselves, you can do so up until tomorrow, I believe, the 23rd of October, if I have my dates correct, up until Monday, the 23rd of October. And you can do that by going to govikesgo.com/VCB, or just Google Vikes Championship Breakfast, and your support is very much appreciated, as it is truly the reason why we can have such great student athletes here at the University of Victoria. So after that try was held up, we have had some sustained possession still from Capilano, but unable to push themselves across that line. Capilano being called for the high tackle, I believe, and the Vikes, after being swamped in their own zone for probably the last 10 minutes, will look to escape with some possession here with a kick that's coming right in my direction. And and the line out going to Uvik, taken well, and with speed, with lots of speed, Ryder Heaney Corns bursting through the defensive line of Capilano. Chris Gamage with the carry. He offloads it well to Brendan Kim, who offloads it to Jack Marshall. And Ethan Smith with a run. The Vikes now in the gold zone threatening here as Chris Gamage passes it off to Brendan Kim again. And his strength and power burst through some and make some meters after contact as the Vikes looking good here after they were swamped in their own zone for quite some time. And the Vikes are looking to add more points onto their lead that is already 3 tries, but a fantastic intercept there by Capilano. Just reading that pass perfectly as Sam Eifler makes the carry. And Capilano with a poor pass there, read well by the Uvik defender. And Uvik with possession again, threatening in Capilano territory. Marcus Law with the offload to Brendan Kim. Brendan Kim, what a speedy acceleration there for a big forward. And Uvik with 2 breakdowns and 1 there kind of will look to move closer and closer to the Capilano end zone. That's Brendan Kim again with the carry. He is getting involved ever since being subbed on, isn't he? And Marcus Lott again with the carry. Capilano trying to hold him up, trying to steal that ball from him, but he does make it to the ground. And the ball will be played out to Smith over to the wing. Really good hands there, and the try will be scored. Wasn't sure there, a little bit of a delayed response from the referees, but that's Graham Norris scoring the try to put the Vikes up 29-7, pending a conversion here with just about 5 minutes to go in this second half. So Uvik looked to be in a position of harm there for a little bit for the last 10 minutes of play. Capilano really controlling the play and threatening for a sustained period of time in the Uvik end, but just unable to get the ball down over the try line. They were held up twice, and Uvik finally, on behalf of a penalty for a high tackle, was able to get the ball out of their zone, was able to get some controlled possession, and was able to score a try of their own. So that kick, no good, by the way, just coming up just short, meaning the Vikes continue to lead 29-7 as that ball going forwards off the hands of Brendan Kim, I believe. The temperature has certainly dropped, so maybe some cold hands out there, leading to some handling errors late in this game. Just about 4 minutes remaining in this game, as Capilano will have a scrum in UVic territory here, and they will look to close the gap with not very much time remaining, but they look to close the gap nonetheless, as that scrum will pop out and will be reset. So they will try it once again, and it will be Capilano scrum with a more diverse setup in the backfield, teasing which direction they want to go. Josh Wang almost hiding behind his counterpart as they move it out to the right. They move it into the hands of Wang, but it is knocked on. So just as I thought, trying to feed Wang the ball, the speedy fullback, but he knocks it on, and it will be a Vikes scrum here with just about 2 minutes remaining in this game. So the Vikes didn't start off incredibly strong, very error prone, and quite a few handling errors, unlike the way they played against UBC last Saturday. But really, in this late in the first half and throughout this whole second half, have just held well defensively and taken advantage of the times they have on attack to put some points on the board. But a good showing from both sides today. It's been a hard-fought game in general, with errors kind of being the theme of the game, if you will, as both sides struggling with handling errors. But that's a fantastic run there by Lockhart McGregor, and wow, he is going to go all the way. Lockhart McGregor with a fantastic run here, as that's all but gonna do it. 1 minute remaining, and the Vikes are leading 34-7, pending a conversion there. A fantastic run by McGregor, bursting down the left-hand side of the pitch and dicing up the Capilano defense to put his team ahead 34-7. As we will have Ethan Smith to kick the ball here for the Vikes, and Capilano will look to block that kick, which they do not do successfully, and that is the game. So the University of Victoria Vikes win 36-7 here in a fairly dominant showing over Capilano, and that makes the Vikes 2-0 on the day. So thank you so much for watching along with us here. Again, my name is Isaac Leroy. It's always my pleasure to be in this broadcast booth, filming and commentating for you, and it's been another successful day of University of Victoria men's rugby. Thank you so much, and have a great rest of your weekend.